Happy Women's Month to all the women of South Africa, both young and old, medium, in any case, but happy Women's Month. And I hope that you enjoy this month and also to remember the sacrifices which were made by the women of 1956 to ensure that we have a beautiful month. Now, on that note, the first lady guest for this month is Dr. Omotola Onaneye-Babajide. Okay. So she is an internationally recognized science educator, an executive mentor, a speaker, an entrepreneur with over 2 decades of experience spanning academia, workforce development, leadership, as well as professional advancement. She holds a PhD in environmental chemistry, and she's a senior lecturer and a researcher, as well as a thought leader with a passion for preparing young people and academic professionals for success in the future of work. Through her work in higher education, industry engagement, and career development, she has mentored and trained hundreds of students, academics, and professionals across Africa, the United States, and beyond. Dr. Omotola is also the founder and the CEO of Bright Concept Consulting LLC, a professional development and consulting firm dedicated to helping individuals build visibility, influence, and sustainable careers. She's also the creator of the Build the Business of Your Brilliance movement, which equips professionals to transform their knowledge, skills, and expertise into impact and income, which I think is something much needed in Africa and beyond. Her work focuses on education transformation, youth empowerment, STEM education, employability, leadership, development, entrepreneurship. Most importantly, and our topic at hand in this episode, personal branding. And she also focuses on the future of the workforce. She is a sought-after speaker who is passionate about bridging the gap between education and industry while empowering the next generation to thrive in a rapidly changing global economy. Now, the core essence of this episode is based on personal branding, especially personal branding for academics, and these are early career researchers, students at master's and PhD level, as well as professors. So please tune in and enjoy this episode with me. So who is Dr. Omotola? What are you known for? Who is Dr. Omotola?
Hi, Fanelwa. My name is Dr. That's the name that I was named, but the doctor is because I have a PhD in environmental chemistry. And as you know, we attended the same university in Cape Town, the University of the Western Cape, and I had a PhD from there. So Omotola is just a Nigerian lady that is a scientist, an academic, an entrepreneur, and this is just enjoying her career and enjoying her life.
Yeah. So if somebody would talk to you or ask you, is that your professional brand, or is that your personal brand, or a mixture of the two?
Okay. So my personal brand is Dr. Omotola. My professional brand is the executive academic. So there's a little bit of difference between the two. Your personal brand is who you are, what you want people to know you for. Like, what are you remembered by? So my personal brand comes from my PhD because that is what people recognize me as an academic. And but the executive academic is a title I have coined. It doesn't really exist in reality, but it's a title I have coined that encompasses everything that is about me, my personality, my profession, the fact that I love corporate. I've been able to combine corporate world with academic world. So I'm somebody that is very versatile, and hence my professional brand called the executive academic. In other words, I could tender to executive clients. I could also tender to academic clients, and which is just the basis of my business. So I'm not just an academic coach or an academic person. I can switch in between the roles, between the executive, the corporate, and academia. Yeah. So that's the difference.
That is fascinating to me. And I don't know if you remember a few years ago when we had a chat, we were sitting in your car actually, and you opened up my eyes. You literally opened up my eyes. And I want to tell you today that I'm sitting here doing this podcast because of you. And it took me 3 years to get to where I am until a friend of mine, Lungi Swankonke, she's the very first person I interviewed on the podcast. She's a professor in Stellenbosch University. She said, you just need to start, no matter how it looks. You just need to start. But I think what people don't know is that it was me sitting in your car and you
Hallelujah.
inspiring something in me, telling me that, what do you mean? You've done A, B, C, and D. Why don't you think about what you want to do? So I just want to tell you that that really changed my life, that conversation. For that short period of time, it was mentorship in the car that got to where I am. And on that point, if you have to break down your business, tell us a little bit about what the levels of your business, what levels of your business, what do you offer in your business?
Okay, thank you, Fanelwa. It's actually a privilege and a honor that I am pivotal to your story, and I actually just did a video about me and you, and you're going to see the
Yes.
video on YouTube, and I'm going to post it very soon.
Oh, wait.
But yeah, I'm so happy. I'm so really happy. And what brings me fulfillment is seeing people maximize their potential. And I wouldn't say I think it's a gift. I think because when you have a burden that you can't explain, but the burden is there, then it's probably tweeting towards your purpose. So in my case, I just didn't decide to begin to build a business. I had this strong burden of helping most especially female academics,
Yeah.
realize that there's so much more than the field of academia. There's so much more that they can do and portray to the world and make money while doing it, and it's because I have also walked along that journey, you know. And let me tell you this, while I was in South Africa, it's a tale of different stories, lots of shades of gray. Because in South Africa, today you get a contract, tomorrow the contract doesn't exist. It's just crazy because we're foreigners. And there's sometimes I will have money, sometimes I won't have money. And then one day I sat down and I began to think, why would I go all the way spending years in academia, having all this education, and I'm still at the mercy of an
Yeah.
institution? I can't afford to pay my rent. I can't afford to do the things that I want to do because I don't have the money. They're not paying me what I'm worth,
Yes.
and all of this just created an anger within me. And I'm like, okay, what am I going to do to probably sell my expertise? How can I sell my expertise outside of this? How can I make sure that my food or my survival is not tied to my employer? Those are the
Mhm.
questions I was asking. And then in
Yeah.
2020, during COVID, people started dying and things were things went crazy. And I decided, okay, God, what do you really want me to do? How am I going to survive this? And then I had the news that because of COVID, the enrollment was going down, and the university at that time I was working as a lecturer at the Cape Peninsula University of Science and Technology,
Mm.
and that they were not sure if our jobs are going to be, sustainable.
Yeah.
And then I decided, okay. And before then, I knew that I needed to be out there more, become more visible, become more on the online space, because I was seeing people making money online. And I'm like,
Yeah.
we have all these accolades, we have PhDs, we have masters, we've done so much, we've done postdoctorals, we have so much publications, and yet we're still very poor. And
Hmm.
if you know me, people that know me know I love enjoyment.
Yeah.
I love the good life. I live the good life. I just believe that. And my background, my background, I come from a home where my father had exposed me to, the outer world. I used to travel overseas when I was as young as 9 years old. So I had a little bit of exposure of
Oh.
a little bit of affluence. And now I'm having a PhD and I still can't sustain myself. So for me, it was just crazy. So I decided to um, start from somewhere. I just decided to start from somewhere. And then I started to ask myself, what are the things people come to ask me help for? What problems do people really want me to solve for them? Because a lot of people used to come to me and say, Omotola, we need you to help me with this, we need to help with that. And then I put it together. Most of the times, the questions they ask me is, most of my colleagues back in Nigeria wanted to come to South Africa for further study. So I was like, okay, I can help you do this, put this together, help you look for a supervisor and all of that. So I was able to help about 20 people get admissions. And then with my students, a lot of the students were like, some of them would be like, Dr. Motola, I'm really very confused. I don't know if this course I'm doing will really help me in future. I don't know, they get confused and they need a lot of clarity. So I decided, okay, since these are the two things people used to ask me for, I was going to monetize it. And so I started admissions counseling for my colleagues. And then I started academic coaching for my students. And that's how I started. And I put a monetary value at it. And I started earning some money. And I was like, this thing works. Oh my, this thing works. And when it started working for me, I now decided, okay, since it works for me and this thing is working, I think I could also help my other colleagues that are also suffering. That we look as if we've got it all together, but we really don't have it all together because we don't really have that money. So I was like, okay, if people come to me and see me doing these things, maybe they will be inspired. And then that's how it started. And funny enough, one of my postdoc professors, Professor Wilson Gitari, he called me one day and said, "Oh, Motola, I've been seeing you on social media. What's happening to you? Like, you're just shining. You're just doing this. You're doing that." I'm like, Prof, I need to survive. Well, this is not even like I just want to be there. It's because I really need to survive. I really need to. And at that time, my kids were already in private school in Cape Town. So I really needed to make money. So he was like, can you teach me how you're doing this thing? I'm like, sure. So he was my first client. It was my first professional client. He paid for my flights to come to Venda, paid for my hotel accommodation, my feeding, everything for 4 days. Everything was paid for. And then we sat down together. I told him, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do for 4 good days. And that was the start of my business. That was the start of it. So I started to teach people how to build a business from their brilliance, especially academic professional, because I've been there, done that. It's the field I am in. And I know that academics have so much more that they can, just monetize and make more money that's relevant to what they have learned in school and what they do. Yeah.
Look, most people won't know, but I've learned. It was you that taught me the word personal branding, because it usually sounds so isolated and so far.
Far away,
it
yeah.
sounds so far. It's as if they're talking about maybe a celebrity or an influencer, but not an academic. And in your opinion, why should an academic care about this as a personal branding?
Oh my.
And what benefit? I mean, you've mentioned in your case, like it was a personal thing, but what would you say perhaps in terms of the meaning that it would have to somebody?
Okay. So I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to answer that question with a question. When you hear of President Barack Obama, what comes to mind?
Leadership, not just leadership, but excellent leadership.
Perfect. When you hear what's the name of this professor in what's her name in Cape Town, the former female professor?
Prof. Pakeng.
Yes. I don't know how to pronounce her name properly. That's why I didn't want to. Yeah. So when you hear about her or you see her somewhere, what comes to mind?
What comes to mind is boldness and also academic excellence.
Excellence, yes. So that is her personal brand. So a personal brand is what people remember you by. A personal brand is what people remember you for. A personal brand is what makes meaning to people when they see you, when they hear your name. What comes to mind when people hear your name? So, for example, Professor Fanelwa Ajayi is an academic, but she's also a sociable academic. She's somebody she's a philanthropist because you have a NPO.
Yeah.
And in my regard, you are also somebody that wants to bring education and break the concepts, this hard concepts of academia. Academia seems so fearful, especially to beginners, people that are
Yes.
just, it feels so
Yes.
fearful, it feels so surreal, so, so big.
Yeah.
So what you're doing is that you're trying to break it down and tell them that this thing is really not as fearful as it looks. You can
Yeah.
actually crack this code of the ivory tower by learning the simple steps. So you're a teacher. You are teaching new academics how to become better academics. So that's what we remember you for. That's what comes to mind. In other words, you are making academia sociable. You're making it, you're giving it nuances that would make it so likable, so simple. You're
Yeah.
simplifying it. So that is what a personal brand is. A
Mhm.
personal brand is what people remember you for, what you are known for. And it has to be intentionally curated. It's not something that just is. People know you by the things you say, by your thought leadership, by the things you post, by how you talk, by how you appear, by how you speak, by the things you put out there, either on online media or on print media. So it's
Yeah.
something that you have to curate intentionally. I will say this before I end that. If you don't intentionally curate who you want people to know you for, people will find their own identity for you. In my own case, a lot of people back in the day, a lot of people always saw a pretty face. And I had so many problems with that because there's always this what does this word? There's always that thing that when you see a pretty face might not necessarily be a brilliant person.
Yes.
So
Yes. Yes. Yes.
anytime
It's
I
the assumption
speak,
that
yes.
there's air
So they used to
in
have
the
that
head.
thing like, oh, she's just pretty. She got there because of her pretty privilege. And then
Mm.
it always took me quite a while for people to take me seriously.
Mm.
Do you
Mm. Mm.
understand? So a
Mm.
lot of
Mm.
people did
Mm.
not take me seriously, especially when it came to academic matters because of my pretty face. And
Ah,
so
and
I had to intentionally build my personal brand so that people can take me seriously. It was an issue for me. All right.
tell me
And then
something,
I
Tola.
decided that if I don't do this,
Yeah.
people will just say, oh, she's just this. They'll create
Mm.
their own stories. So if you don't want people to create stories for you, you have to create your story by yourself. And that's why building a
Mm.
personal brand is extremely significant and crucial.
Did you find that for how you dress, for instance, if you dress up and you don't look like a scientist, I don't know what the scientist looks like.
Exactly.
Yes.
I had that
So
issues a lot. When I first came to the UWC for my PhD, people will be like, are you really sure you're a PhD student? Are you really sure you know what you're doing?
yeah.
Are you really sure, like, do you understand that you're in chemistry? Especially when I tell them I'm doing PhD in chemistry, they'll be like, are you for real? You don't even look like somebody that is a scientist or in STEM. You look like somebody that is doing arts. So I'm like, what are people that look like science?
Well,
So I get that a lot.
and you're petite, you're very tiny and short, so it's like she's going to burn.
Oh, I had that a lot. So I had to do something about my personal brand so that people can take me seriously. And now they do take me seriously and they pay me for it. So,
Yes. Like
mm-hmm,
I have an issue like with my lipstick. I like my purple lipstick.
uh-huh,
And I have my purple cane that I always carry. And the reason why I bought
yeah.
the purple cane for my walking about is because I love purple. That's just it. I love it on my lips and a few accessories, but it's not a color that I use. But I find that people always comment about my lips. And I'm thinking, we are in a meeting. Why would you start talking about my lipstick and not focus on what we're talking about? So that's why I was asking you, did you feel
But
like
you know that that's
you
a good,
don't dress
but
up
you know
and
that
look
that's a
pretty?
good thing. It's a good thing if
Mm.
people focus on a bold statement you're having. So like your lipstick is a bold statement. So you're trying to say something. So it's at that time is for you to be able to educate them on why you have a purple
Mhm.
lipstick. So it's a good thing because now you're trying to catch attention. You've gotten their
Yeah.
attention. Then you tell them the purple lipstick is for my just to
Yeah.
create awareness about my disease.
Mm,
Simple
mm,
as
mm.
ABC because they don't know and it's
Yeah.
unusual. So they want to know. So you use that at time to just educate them.
It's true,
Yeah.
hey. That's actually a good idea because I often think that, just
No,
focus
don't
on
feel bad about it. It's because they don't know really. So
mm,
it's our job to educate people and let them know.
yeah. Because I'm thinking that. I sometimes get so, then I hold myself that, okay, there's a reason why you're asking the question. So let me be patient and just say thank you that you noticed.
Yeah, just say thank
But
you.
I
Just say
never,
thank you because I'm creating awareness. As simple as ABC. And they move
yeah,
on. They'll be like, oh, okay.
yeah, because
Yeah.
I don't really have a comeback. I just say thank you. Okay. Like, look,
So from now on, have a comeback.
I have a comeback now and a nice one, a very
Yeah.
nice one. Now,
Yeah.
on the point of the PhD, because, you got your PhD in environmental chemistry, but what fascinates me the most is that you just moved straight. You used your PhD, obviously, mentorship, entrepreneurship, personal branding, and you are doing it successfully. How did the PhD, if it did, prepare you to be able to manage and start your business? One. Another thing, how are you able to function in your business across two continents? That for me is mind boggling. In the US, you're working. In Africa, you're working. How? I'm curious
Thank you,
how.
Vanelwa. Okay, but the thing is that we live in a global village right now. Like
Yeah,
you're in South Africa, I'm here in Maryland. You're in Cape Town, South Africa. I'm here in Maryland, USA, and we're talking.
yeah,
It's a global village because of technology. So it's
yeah.
easy. It's easy. It's not a train smash at all. All right. So you were asking about how my
Hmm.
PhD has been able to contribute to my being an entrepreneur, being an academic, and all of that. Uh,
Yes.
you know, yeah. So I would always tell people, especially people that have PhDs, that if your PhD is actually a blessing,
Mm-hmm,
especially if
mm-hmm,
you're an
mm-hmm.
adequately trained PhD. We
Uh-huh.
were trained well. In Cape Town, in the University of the Western Cape, I was trained by Professor Leslie Petrick, and I want to use this
Mm.
opportunity to thank her and to acknowledge her role in my academic and career life. She has
Yeah.
been significant and been fundamental to my success in
Mm.
life. And I used to say that she used to tell me something. She used to say, Omotola, start from the known. The
Yes.
unknown will open up itself to you.
Yeah.
And I will never forget that word because at the time I was crippling with fear. How am I going to create new knowledge? Who am I that I will now be able to create something novel that the world has never seen or heard before?
Yeah.
Because one of the things of a PhD, one of the requirements, the basic requirements of a PhD is that you have to create new knowledge.
Yeah.
You have to have a novel research, something totally different from what has existed out there. You have to contribute scientific you have to make a scientific contribution
Mhm.
to the wealth of knowledge. And then that thing used to cripple me like, what am I going to do? So she would tell me, Omotola, you are not Albert Einstein. You are
Yeah.
Omotola. So you start from the known. You see,
Yes.
if you start from the unknown will open up itself to you. And that's exactly what happens in the world, even in like
Yeah.
entrepreneurship. You start from where you know, start from what you have, start from what you know, start from what you can control. What you cannot control eventually will open up itself to you. You just
Yeah.
start day by day. And then you begin to look for things and accessories that would help you achieve your aim. If
Mm.
you need mentoring, you go for mentoring. If you need coaching, you go for coaching. If you need guidance, you go for somebody that can guide you. If you need sponsorship, you need somebody higher up there that can lead you and help you elevate in your career. You go talk to a professor or somebody that can help you. So
Yes.
there are always things that we can use to elevate in our careers. So now having a PhD has been significant, and it's extremely significant to building a successful business.
Yeah.
It is extremely vital. And a lot of people have PhDs, and that's one of the things why I do my business, because I see PhDs now, becoming depressed because things are not the way they used to be. You do a PhD now, you don't have a job, or you
Yes.
can't get a spot in the because academia is full. The jobs don't really exist. And now you'd be like, you've done this PhD for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. You don't have
And
you don't
it's
have a
just
spot as a
amazing.
professor. But do
Yeah.
you know that PhD has already given you so many skills that you can use to create value?
Mm-hmm.
So much value that even what academia will pay you, you will make times 10 of that at a sitting.
Yeah.
You just have to know. So, for example, academia teaches you that you can always come back from failure.
Mm-hmm.
Academia teaches you that you can be resilient. Academia teaches you to be purposeful. Now you know how to repurpose things. You can be very purposeful. Academia teaches you how to do data analysis.
Yeah.
Academia teaches you how to problem solve. These are the characteristics and the requirements of a successful entrepreneur.
Yeah.
How to solve problems, how to search for problems, how to ask correct questions, like the right questions. Because
Yes.
you have to define your objectives, isn't it? In a PhD, you have to define your objectives. You have to define your research questions. And then you have to find a solution to those research questions. So, and in life, in business just means solving people's problems for profit.
Yeah.
If you have a problem and I can solve it and you pay me, that's a business. It's an exchange of value.
It's a
And that's
business.
what research teaches us. You're solving a problem. But academia does not really pay us that much for solving problems, but business will pay you very well.
Oh no,
That's why I
academia
tell people you
doesn't
already
pay us.
have the skills.
It doesn't pay us enough at all. I
I
agree with
know,
you.
yeah, but you have the skills to do this. And the cream of it is that you can do academia, you can do whatever, and still do your business alongside. You don't even have to leave one for the other.
Yeah.
You don't have to leave one for the other.
Do you think there is an issue maybe in the training that we get? You know, maybe I don't know how to put this question, but do you perhaps think there's a gap in the training that we get? And also, do you maybe also think that there's an issue also with PhD graduates? Is there any mistake do you think they are making in order for their visibility to be hampered?
In comparison to, do you mean now against back in the day, or?
Yes, I'll say visibility now as compared back to back in the day, and also in the training at postgraduate level. Do you feel that there's a gap in terms of should we also be including entrepreneurship, especially for introverts?
Okay.
Yes.
I get you now.
Yes.
I get the question now.
Yeah.
I think so. I think in postgraduate school, they just train you to be one-sided.
Yeah.
They train you to just be research focused, industry, academic focused, and all of that. They don't let you be versatile.
Yeah.
And really understand that you can really, you know, expand your skills or expand your experience outside of the ivory tower. And I think that's one thing that is lacking within the postgraduate or the school system.
Yeah.
Because now you will find out that our skills are really not as relevant as it should be in the industry 5.0 we are moving towards. We've always had generational landslides in terms of back in the day we had industry 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. Now we're in AI and machine learning. And it's
Yes.
moving into something even more where robotics is going to be working together with humans. So if you are not, you have to be very smart and strategic as a PhD or as a postgraduate student to realize that if you leave the ivory tower, you're coming into a world of work or into a future that has to be prepared for you. So in as much as you have that theoretical skills or even practical skills, if you're lucky, how do you relate that to the future that you're going into, the world of work that you're going into? Otherwise, you will not get a job. And if
Yeah.
you can't get a job, another option is for you to use those skills and then you become self-employed. All right. So the question now is schools must begin to think about it. And you can't blame our professors because they also are just, this AI thing, this industry 4.0, 5.0 is just coming up now. Everybody is just taken aback. We're all learning.
And I mean, our
The
professors
speed
are
at
also
which
shocked.
technology.
They are more shocked than us. I mean, we're younger than them, and we're also shocked.
We are millennials. We are still adjusting. They can't even adjust. They can't even comprehend it. So now imagine our children. Our children are the ones teaching us technology now. Now imagine their children. So if we are not, what's it called? What's this word now? You just have to be. There's this word that is getting off my head.
No.
But academia, you just have to continue to be relevant. and understand what is happening outside in industry and what is happening in academia. Academia is supposed to fuel industry, but
Yeah.
industry is moving at a speed that academia cannot even meet.
True.
So what do? You have to be strategic. And one of the strategies is also building your personal brand. Right from the time you start postgraduate school, begin to be there and become a thought leader on LinkedIn. Become a thought leader on
You know
social
what?
media.
I'm happy that you touch on that. For
Yeah.
somebody, a young person that is starting up, master's or PhD, how can they make their visibility as they start?
Okay.
Talk about
Okay.
LinkedIn. Talk about LinkedIn and talk about the other
Okay.
platforms.
They even have a better advantage than we had.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, there was nothing called visibility. We didn't know anything about personal brand. We didn't know anything about we were just in the lab, finishing our lives in the lab. It was when we now finished, we now realized that, oh my God, this is what they're going to pay me as a professor. But now there's so much information overload. Now there's so much, information on the internet, and they have so much advantage. So if you're a PhD right now, you have to begin to curate and be strategic and design your career right from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Because you have an advantage of social media. You have an advantage of the internet. All right. You have to begin to curate, begin to understand that, okay, I'm doing a master's or maybe I'm doing a PhD in physics or in electronic physics or electrochemistry or whatever. Now I must begin to curate my personal brand on LinkedIn. Because do you know that at the end of the day, LinkedIn is where your employers will come and look for you most of the time. And your CV is no more in resumes. It's no more on paper. Our resumes are now online.
Yeah.
People want to know about you, want to know about me. They just type my name on LinkedIn, type my name on Google. Who is she?
Yes.
Who is Dr. Fanelwa? So if you don't curate it intentionally right from the very beginning, by the time you are finishing your PhD, you have nothing to show for it. So you have to start with your LinkedIn, if you have a Facebook, you can connect your LinkedIn and your Facebook and an Instagram. People have to see you. And there's something I teach in my mentorship. It's called the know, like, trust factor. People have to know you, they have to like you, and they have to trust you.
Yeah.
Before they can exchange money with you, before they can buy from you. So, and this know, like, trust factor takes an average about 5 years to build for people to know you. Knowing you means they know your name, they know the school you went to, they know the things that you're doing. Maybe you're a professor of this, or you're lecturer of this, or that like you're studying this course. They're knowing you. They know that you're married, they know that you're not married, they know you have kids, they know what you like, they know your hobbies, they know the places you visit. These are the knowing factors. That doesn't make people trust you yet. And then they would need to like you. Like you means that you now begin to show your vulnerable side to people. You show people who you are. Okay, so for example, I've been saying here that I know that a lot of people used to because I've been telling my story. They know you by telling your story. When you begin to tell your story, people will know, oh, now I see. That's why she does what she does. That's why she's this. Because people that have impressions of you before, now that they hear it from your mouth, they hear you from your perspective, they now are kinder to you. Because now they're hearing your own version of your story. Do you understand? So for people like me, maybe people used to assume that, I had a permanent job. Why would she leave South Africa and go to the US? Why would she leave? Now they understand that I only had a contract job. I had to do what I had to do to survive because I had 2 children in private school that I had to pay for. But maybe people don't know that story, but now they are hearing that story. So you have to share your story. So for example, you have a personal story. You have a story that you are living with a disease. So now when you put on your purple lipstick and you put on your purple things, people now associate and are kinder to you. And then they will now begin to like you and say, oh, that's why she walks this way. That's why she doesn't come to school all the time. She's living with this disease. It makes people like you. And then after people like you, then they go a step further to trust you. All right. It takes about an average of 5 years. Some people that get this formula well, within 3 years, you are good to go. You cannot sell in the marketplace. You cannot begin to say, okay, come for my mentorship. I can mentor you. And then you charge for it, or come for a consultation, because people know you. They know your story. They like you. And now they're beginning to trust you. And your trust comes from you showing thought leadership. showing that you know what you're saying.
Yes.
So showing credibility, showing authority, showing your credentials, showing your expertise and your experiences through what you say, through what you write, through your blogs, through interviews. So, for example, this interview now that I'm doing with you, it's a podcast. It's going to make people know me more and trust me more because now they've heard me.
Yes.
They see my body language. They see my face. They see my, my charisma, my aura. Those are the things that make people like you. They see my emotional intelligence, a little bit of my intellectual intelligence because of my communication skills.
Yeah.
All of those things are what make people trust you. So when people now begin to trust you, oh, she's trustable because she's credible. Oh, she's somebody that has done this, done that. She knows what she's saying. She has authority in this field.
Yeah,
especially when people know that you are a mother, you have nursed children, your children are successful, you have been either a wife, you've been a professor, you've achieved a status in society. It makes people trust you the more because you have been handling responsibility.
Yes.
Do you understand? Because they associate responsibility with those things.
Yes.
And then when people trust you, now you can create your website and create offers, and people will start marketing. People will start buying from you.
Wow.
So, for example, you're creating the Social Chemist. In another 6 months, I expect you to create a large offering, maybe for whole academics in South Africa. I want to mentor you, a mentorship package, $1,000. You pay this amount within this time, create a wait list. Within this time, if you are on this list by this time and you pay this money by this time, you are in my circle. Maybe the social academics. You can call it a social academics mentorship. They pay you $1,000. That is the least you should charge. You cannot charge less than $1,000. If they have to pay part payments, let them do that. Let them do that.
Yeah,
and then begin to make. Imagine if just 20 people come into your mentorship as social academics. 20 times 1 is what? $20,000.
Dollars, not rands.
No, we are not charging rand. We are not charging rand. We are charging dollars.
Dr. Omotola has spoken, people.
So you see, start now. If you're a PhD, a master's, start now. Start building your credibility online because that's what is going to make you sell.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, because, I'm happy you mentioned Professor Leslie Patrick because this is Women's Month, in SA.
Make it loud. Make it louder. It's not loud.
It's not loud. Yeah, I'm saying that
okay,
it's Women's Month, and I'm happy that you mentioned Professor Patrick when you spoke about her and her mentorship in your career.
Speech.
Yeah. So for somebody who's starting, because I'm always worried about people that are starting. Okay, even when you're not starting, I suppose it doesn't really matter. But you know that there's always this competition for grants and publications and also speaking opportunities at conferences. There's always this competition always happening. Do you think there's something extra that we could do as academics, to be able to, just to shine and to remain authentic? What can we do? What can we do? Because she's somebody that I think was able to, move up the ranks. And people may think that she did it very quickly. Yeah, very quickly. And what lessons do you think that you may borrow from her as an academic as well from her? What would you say?
Thank you. Okay, thank you, Fanelwa. There are 2 questions in that question.
Yeah.
So first of all, Professor Leslie Patrick has been phenomenal.
Yeah.
She's a very strategic woman, and I learned so much from her. She was a chemist. She is a professor of chemistry, but she's also a business chemist. She's a businesswoman. She's a businesswoman. And I used to tell people that if you really want to grow in academia, like we know academia has research, it has teaching, it has community engagement. The question is, how do you use your expertise, your scientific, if you're a science professor or whatever, field you are, how do you use it to really grow? One of the ways to really grow is to impact your community. Leslie grew very fast because she was very impactful. She was not just doing chemistry in the lab.
Yeah.
She was doing chemistry for the people.
For the community, for the people, for society.
For the people, for the society. That's what made her grow. And the more people saw, the more industry people, the people that had the money, the more they saw the impact she did, the more money they gave her. Impact is very, very important if you want to get grants and get a goal or speed in your academic career. Impact is important. Impact could be in form of community. It could be to your students. It could be to your research.
Yeah.
3 ways.
Yeah.
Your research, your personal research. So, for example, maybe, okay, so let me give my example. My research was based on biodiesel.
Yes.
Biodiesel, if you remember, I was the first researcher in the whole of South Africa to beneficiate, to use waste, fly ash, to create catalysts that will cause reaction from oil, waste oil, to biodiesel.
Yes.
I was the first person. I don't know if other people have done that now, but I was the first in South Africa. And I have never heard of biodiesel before I came to do that research. Leslie lured me to do the research because she had money. I came because of money.
Shola,
I'm going somewhere with this.
Yeah.
I'm going somewhere with this.
Yeah.
You cannot live because you can only attract the best of the best if you have money. And you can only sustain the best of the best if you have grants and have money.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now the question is, to attract them, you have to have grants. To make them stay, you have to have money.
Yes.
To make them work, you have to have that money. So now, how do you now have the money? It's because now you have to have interesting projects. So if you're more research inclined, you have to have interesting projects that is very relatable to people, not just very boring projects. Relatable to the community, relatable to the person, and relatable to the university. You have to go and problem solve something that is so interesting and that is so huge. At the time, ESCOM had these huge deposits of fly ash. The question was, what do we do with this fly ash? How do we beneficiate this waste? How do we turn this waste into something that can be recycled or upcycled? And they had so many ways. Some of my people in my research were doing wastewater treatment with the fly ash. Some were doing metals. They were creating catalysts for taking what's it called, this metals. What do you call that thing for? They were taking this rare earth metals from the fly ash. They were extracting rare earth metals from the fly ash. Some were doing acid mine drainage treatments. So she divided the group into different folders. And then my job was to use the fly ash, create a catalyst, and use it for biodiesel, because at the time there was this research, there was this policy that was saying that we had to begin to recycle, to reuse, and all of those things. So
what was it? Reduce, reuse, recycle.
And that was one of the Sustainable Development Goals. Remember the Sustainable Development Goals, where now you have to now begin to look for things that are in the environment and recycle them. So my job was to recycle or upcycle the fly ash and make biodiesel work. And then there was this paradigm shift at the time towards from fossil fuel to biodegradable fuel, because we're trying to mitigate climate change and the effects of climate change. So you can see that topic was very interesting and very relevant. Do you understand? So if you really, really want to you want to shine in the space of research, in terms of grants, in terms of getting all this money, because the money is actually there. The money is there, but you have to make it interesting, make it relatable, make it something relevant to what the community needs, what the students, the research itself needs, and what can be, that can solve problems that the common man will be able to say, okay, yes, she did this, or I'm doing this. And then you can explain it in a way that people can really understand. Because people that have money, they don't understand all the scientific jargon that you are saying. They don't understand the jargon. So you must have something that you can say in a simple way but
Yeah.
very relevant way. Do you
Yeah.
understand? So that's one of the things that I think people can do to be able to get more grants. And if you are not a research inclined, if you're not research inclined, you can also be teaching inclined. So in other words, you begin to do have impact on your students.
Yeah.
All right. Have
Yeah.
impact on your students. So like Leslie, she was all round. She had impact in research, she had impact on the students, and she also had impact in the community. She was winning awards from WRC, Water Research Commission. She was getting awards all over because she was impacting the community. She was
Yeah.
cleaning water. She was also helping students.
Yeah.
We're also going for. I remember that time we're also doing. We're doing the MTN Science Fair. We used to go
Yes.
for the MTN Science Fair
Yes.
that time and teach high school students
Yes.
on how to use rare earth metals, how those the kind of things. So you have to find a way that your work is impactful. Once it's impactful and it's impacting the community, impacting your students, you will get grants. It's a no. You will get, and then
Remember?
you also have to like have a record, record everything behind the scenes. Let people see what you're doing, what you're building, what you're doing. Show it on social media. Don't be shy. Open it up. Let people see. When the people see, when there's a lot of visibility about your research and about the things you're doing, the opportunities will come.
I remember when I think I was doing third year. She was the first academic to take us to the chemistry factories in Sex Circle, in Belleville South. I remember there was a time we got there and they hadn't opened the gates. She was sitting on the pavement with us because she didn't want to give up on the opportunity. So we waited until they opened the gates, and that's how we went in. So I found that very fascinating. She was clued up. She knew what was happening, but she wanted to link the practical to industry. That was so nice for us. That was so
That's a good
nice
example.
for us. Yeah, that was so nice for us. Tola, tell me something. Early career researchers, okay, you've got the grant, you've done the research, you've published. How can they use these different platforms, ResearchGate, Scopus, Google Scholar, LinkedIn, to build their credibility and also to attract collaborations, and also the important one, I think that what most people want is international recognition. What should they be posting? What should they be posting to
should they
get?
be doing?
Yes.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. Like I told you before, we live in a global village right now, and every academic or everyone in academia that really wants to grow must begin to think internationally, not just nationally. You must think globally. All right. And collaborations is one of the best ways to grow globally. Networking is one of the ways too,
Yeah.
by networking with people. And LinkedIn gives us this free platform where you can network with different people. It's just that a lot of people are lazy and a lot of people are a little bit laid back because they are like, I don't want to be in other people's space. I don't want to talk to people. But you have to be in other people's space. That's why we created social media. Social media is to connect everybody. It's a connecting platform. And why are we connecting? It's so that we can have access to opportunities that you ordinarily would not have access to. So one of the things I would tell early career professionals is that, number one, you have to begin to join associations, international associations, international memberships, even if you have to pay.
Yeah.
A lot of them, they don't want to pay.
Yeah.
Pay. Like I belong to the American Chemical Society. Belong to not just Saki, not just South African, whatever. Belong to international member associations. Belong to international what's it called? Expert associations too. So apart from the fact that you have your field, you can also have your profession. So for example, chemist can also work maybe like maybe like a maybe you have an ultrasound machine you're working on. Look for people within that ultrasound machine expert that have their own association. Or maybe you're working on an electrochemical factory or electrochemical project. Look for people that are electrochemists within that for that what's it called, that machine. You understand what I'm saying? So in as much as you do the general one, you also have to do the niched one. So general memberships is okay. Also look for your niche. So for me, I am in environmental chemistry. That is my general field.
Yeah.
I also belong to the biodiesel production or the biodiesel society. Do you understand? Because that's my niche.
Mm-hmm.
So, in as much as you're doing the general one, also look for your niche associations because that's where, and I am so connected all over the world
Yes.
with a lot of people within my field because I always look for every opportunity to connect with people that I know on social media, when I go for meetings, when I go for conferences, or sometimes just being on Google Scholar.
Yeah.
Sometimes on Google Scholar, you'll see a publication. You
Mm-hmm.
see a publication from somebody that is interesting to you. You can reach out to that person via ResearchGate, via what's it called? There's this new one, Academia.
Yeah.
Academia.
Yes, academia, yes.
Academia is a very good one, very very good one. I think you need to pay $1 for you to get all the benefits, just
Yeah,
$1
just one
to get
dollar.
all the benefits. So all of those things, the more you pay for these platforms, the more you can get connected to people, and you will find out that the more you're connected to people, and they begin to see what you do, they will invite you. And if they don't invite you, invite yourself. Invite yourself.
I
Be
like that.
proactive.
I like that. Yeah, I like
Send
that.
an email to somebody on LinkedIn. Send an email to somebody on ResearchGate. I love what
Yeah.
you do. Can I come to your lab to collaborate?
Yes.
Or I have this project I'm working on. I need some help here. Can I collaborate with people in your research? Just be proactive. Don't just.
Hmm.
And a lot of South Africans, especially South African women, I notice are very. I want to use the perfect word. They shrink themselves. They shrink themselves. And I can't blame them. It's because of
The
how
history.
they've grown, where they grow, the environment and the mindset. They're not like Nigerians. We Nigerians, we're cougars. We just go and take the world because we don't have those mentalities that you guys have.
Yeah, it's the history. Also, the history has also as impacted.
Inequality, everything. It was crazy. It really affected you. I taught in the university in South Africa, and I used to see my girls. They just shrink. They just shrink. They just not very confident, and it grows. So you just have to come out of that and begin to be more proactive. Don't feel that you are not competent. Everybody grows competency. Competency is not something you have in one day. Competency is something you grow, something you build on. You build it. You make mistakes. Even if you make a mistake by, sending an email to somebody that is up there and that person doesn't respond, doesn't matter. Do another one, send another one. You have to be consistent. And you'll grow your competency from that. Do you understand? So these are the things that I will say. Be on LinkedIn, connect on LinkedIn properly, have enough followers, enough connections on LinkedIn, have connections on ResearchGate, on Google Scholar, and on Academia. And then have your niche professional associations and memberships. Also have the general one. Pay if you need to pay. Pay. Pay, and it also gives you access. And then if you have somebody that, one of the things is to help them is that they must also have a sponsor. So like you could be a sponsor to a lot of early career scientists. They could come to you and say, Professor Fanewa, I need you to write a letter of recommendation for me, or I need you to introduce me to somebody, and you'll be willing to do that.
Of
Even at no cost.
Yeah.
So they should be willing to be proactive. Yeah.
Yeah. Tola, tell me something. Is there a specific language in your experience? Because I know you have LinkedIn, you have Instagram, you have Facebook. The different types of languages. When you're writing, what is the difference in the language and the tone that you use?
Across these platforms?
Yes, that will allow each of your audience to write a DM and say, Dr. Omotola, dear Dr. Omotola, this is the kind of help that I need. Would you be able to assist me with A, B, C, A, and D? What is the tone when you transition from one platform to the other? What's the difference?
Okay, that's a good question. Okay, so different platforms have different feelings, different nuances. So Instagram is a friendly, playful platform. If you're too serious on IG, people will just scroll by because they are there to have fun. So that's why Instagram came up with reels, with videos. Videos do well on Instagram. Before I used to post a lot of flyers and all of that, but it doesn't do well as much as it's a visual platform. People want to see you do things, talk, dance. It's a playful playful one. So if you want to, your tone on Instagram can be playful, can be friendly, can be, not necessarily formal. It can be informal. All right. However, on LinkedIn is the serious one. So LinkedIn is a serious game changer.
Yeah.
LinkedIn is very serious. It's for profession. It's a platform especially for professionals, and it's not really, you don't really have to do videos on LinkedIn before you can get traction. A lot of the things that are required on LinkedIn is intellectual discourse, thought leadership.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be on LinkedIn and you want to catch somebody's attention, you must be able to talk intellectually. Good English, good grammar, concise, accurate, straight to the point. And it must show that you understand what you're saying. And you must also be very confident and bold. Okay, just go straight to the point. Don't just say hello. Then you go, hi, how are you? No. You don't do that on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, you go, good evening or good afternoon or hello, doctor, whatever. My name is this. I am a professor of this, or I am an academic in this university, and I need your help with regards to this. Just go straight to the point.
Yeah.
You can check more about me on my website or on my school's website here, just to know more about me. I need a collaboration with you in regards of this. If you need more information, please call me on this number or send me a DM. Simple, straight to the point, concise, accurate on LinkedIn. You can't do that on Instagram. Instagram is playful. So Instagram, you can be like, hello, I saw your video and I love that video. I love the way you smile. I love the way you interact. I really want to know you better. You have to be friends on Instagram.
Yeah.
Before you can ask what you want to ask. Okay. So that's Instagram. Facebook is everybody's market. It's a market for everybody. Facebook is where you have the dumb, the brilliant, the stupid, the idiot, everybody is there. However, because you're building a personal brand and you're building something that you want to make people to be serious, you have to put a little bit of your highlights. The LinkedIn, your Facebook banner has to show who you are, just to give a little bit of seriousness to your page.
Yeah.
So for Facebook, you can always send a Yahoo Messenger, hello. But most academics in research, people really don't take Facebook seriously. They take more of LinkedIn and Instagram more seriously, or the other academic platforms like academia, ResearchGate, and all that, but they don't really take Facebook. Me, I don't take Facebook seriously. Facebook is just a place to go and gossip.
Yeah, you can quickly
But
be
you know what? Facebook is the best place to publicize anything. It's the best place.
Yeah.
Anything you put on Facebook, the whole world sees it. I don't know the algorithm in Facebook, but if you want the whole world to know who you are, what you do, just post it on Facebook.
Yes.
It catches fire very, very fast. If you have a webinar, whatever you want to do, put it on Facebook.
Yeah.
That is very good for publicity. Yeah. But LinkedIn is more, I'm serious. I want you to take me seriously and all of that. Yeah. So that's it.
So would Instagram be a good place to put your publication in? Like, okay, I've written this,
No.
so
it's not for Instagram.
yeah.
Publication is not for Instagram.
Yeah.
No. Instagram is for publication is for LinkedIn.
I get you.
And Facebook.
No,
Instagram is for, I went to the party yesterday.
Yeah.
I went for a conference and this was a party at the conference. We had fun. If you want to know more about me, follow me on LinkedIn or click on the link in my bio to check my website out. It's a way to attract people into your space. Instagram is a platform for people to like you.
I get you.
LinkedIn is a place for people to know you and for people to trust you. Instagram is a place for people to like you. Facebook is a place for people to know you. Facebook, people will know you on Facebook because it's so wild. You understand? So knowing, liking, and trusting. LinkedIn is a place where people will trust you. And that's where you will get your most sales.
I get you. Yeah,
because that's where your ideal audience is. Your ideal audience is on LinkedIn. All right, because this is where the professionals are, the serious people. But they also need to they also need to know more about who is this person. Can I trust her with my money? Can I trust her with my life? Can she really offer the transformation she says she can offer?
Yes.
They will now go back to check on Facebook and on Instagram. Who is she? Oh, she's so lovely. She's so nice. She's so this. She's a fun person. Oh, I like her. Okay, I'm going to go back and take her offer. Do you understand? Facebook to know you,
Yes.
LinkedIn to trust you, Instagram to like you.
Oh, that is so fantastic. You know, the way you've just put it now, it makes sense. They all link up. They all link up.
Yes.
Look, you've been able to really do it very, very well, I must say.
Yes.
Because when I look at your platforms, I know you've started YouTube. No, you haven't started. You've been on YouTube. You've actually been on YouTube. But I find that your content is not the same throughout. Anytime I see what you have on LinkedIn is different from what you have on Instagram, different from what you have on YouTube. So that is fascinating. So what you're saying now has just clicked in my brain. This is what I've been seeing across your pages.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Really so.
Yes.
Tell me about the Build the Business of Your Brilliance movement. What's
amazing?
Please, I want you to really go for it. I really want to understand because I find the words deep, you know, because it's building the business, the brilliance of your movement. Tell me about it. Tell me about that.
All right. So, how I started building the business of your brilliance, it just started with a intuition. All right. It started as intuition, and I've been doing a lot of reading. You know, when I started this business, and like I say, clarity comes as you execute. The more you do things, or the more action you take, the more clarity you have. You know, so as I began my business, I started first from academic mentorship to now coaching my my colleagues. You know, first of all, I started coaching my students, and then I started coaching my colleagues on how to build executive presence and things like that, and admissions and all of that. So I put all this together under my business name, which is Bright Concept. However, by the time I started growing, especially now that I am in the US and I work with government, I also began to see a hole, or like a gap. And that gap is, I now began to work with experts. And then I now began to see that most of these experts have a lot of intellectual accolades. They have so much intellect. They have so much intellectual abilities that they don't know which one. It's sometimes it could be a blessing, sometimes it could be a curse. So they don't know exactly which one they should monetize, or they should build a personal brand on. Yeah. I'll give you an example. So you have so for example, sometimes you have a professor. He's a professor of chemistry, but he also loves communication, presentation. Yes. He's a very good presenter. He knows how to do a lot of public speaking. And this person also has another hobby or another side gig that also gives him money, or that he likes. Now, he's not sure which of these things should I really now showcase to the world that this is who I am and this is what I want the world to know. So a lot of experts began to come to me and say, I don't really know which one. Yeah. I don't really know which one, because as an academic, or even as a professional, you have gathered a lot of experience and a lot of expertise in different ways, in diverse fields, for you to become a PhD, a professor. That means you know a lot about a lot of things. So the question now is, which one should I proclaim to the world? Which one will be most profitable? That is where the business of your brilliance comes in. So God showed me that I need to help people. It was I don't know how to explain it. It was like a trance. It was like an unveiling. Yes. Because as the more I was growing in my business, because when you grow, you be seeing more problems, more opportunities, and more things that you can solve. And for me, one of my goals was that I wanted to really reach the top of the top, the la cream of the la cream. That's one of my goals. I wanted to leave the small meat for small people. I wanted to go for the for the top. That was my desire. I wanted to work with just few people, but that will pay me maximum money. People that will pay me $30,000, $50,000. That's what I'm aiming for. But to get there, I have to grow. So while growing, I've been reading books, I've been going for trainings, I've been watching YouTube, I've been growing. So one day, out of my sleep, I just heard Business of Your Brilliance. It came to me in a dream, in like a trance.
Oh, word, did that just
And then I was like, okay, Business of Your Brilliance. And then you won't believe it's Fanelwa. When I heard it, I just heard, this is it. This is it. This is your gold mine. This is it. That was what I heard. Immediately I went to lock in the website. I locked in the website. I told my web developer, check this name. Has it been taken? He said, no, it's not been taken. I said, lock it. I went to my trademark. Please lock this trademark. Lock it in right now.
Yeah.
I did the registration. Lock it, lock it, lock it, lock it. Because I just heard it. And then later I began to say, okay, what is this? And then because of the things I've been reading and the people I've been listening to and the teachings and the trainings I've been involved in, it's not better for me actually, really, because even my kids will be like, Mommy, why are you still studying? Why are you reading? Why you finished your problem?
What more?
But I believe that if you have the gift or the burden, it will lead you somewhere.
Yeah.
Just like you started. When you started from Amakwa, you started from the
Yes.
and then now you did something else before you became the social chemist. It came to you. The social chemist will just come to you. That's how it comes, that idea. I remember that as a PhD, we've been trained to be innovators, to be idea creators. You understand? So that thing came to me and I was like, okay, build the business of your brilliance. All right. So how do I do this? What happens? So I now realized that I now started to watch all my videos, all my content. And I saw that I've always been talking about brilliance, how to monetize your brilliance. I've always been talking about it. I just didn't know. So now I wanted to curate a luxurious feel, like, a top radar for high achieving people, high network individuals. Because I know high network individuals, they buy things on a different level.
Yes.
You understand? If you want to pay somebody $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, you have to meet them there.
No, go for
you
it.
have to, yeah. So and I started to say, okay, then I had one client, and then I had one client just to validate that business. I just put it on social media that I'm doing a mentorship, and then somebody clicked in. Somebody bought one offer, and that one offer at the time was $1,500 just for 4 weeks. She bought the offer. When she bought the offer, I started to mentor her. While mentoring her, I realized all the questions that were in my spirit, that was in my mind, I was solving it for her. So I was able to use her as a case study to build that business. Do you understand? So this is a person that has a PhD. She has this, she has that, she just doesn't know which one she wants to turn into a business. She doesn't even know which one she wants to monetize. So I was like, okay, sit down. And now we have AI. I've been able to build a AI diagnostic tool. My web developer, I just told him. And you see, when God really gives you your purpose, He will send help to you. He will send people that will just say something or do something or do something that will just make it fit into that business. So my web developer, I met him through somebody that just gave me his number. And this guy says, Dr. Motola, I understand your mission.
Yes.
I understand what you are doing. I understand it. So don't worry. I'm here for you.
Yeah.
Even if you don't pay me, I get it. So I just told him, I said, he's a Nigerian. I just called him, I said, I have this idea. A lot of brilliant people don't know exactly which one is their profitable brilliance. Can we do an AI tool that they can just put inputs? The AI will ask them questions, put in their answers, and then it will tell them this one is the one that you need to monetize.
Yeah.
Can you do that for me? He said yes. And then we started building the AI tool. Wow. We built the AI tool. We now use that AI tool on this lady. This lady that I charged 1,500.
Yeah.
She did it. She was like, yeah,
oh
has finished me. Oh, this is exactly it. This is who I am. This is what I am. This is how I want to describe myself. This is it. It looked like magic. From her, I posted again on social media, like, do you want to come from and I have some circles, some other big circles like the AWS that is not really up there. So I posted it again. I had 2 people come into my, this time they paid $3,000. We did the same thing. I was using these people as case study. And each time I was doing this thing, I realized that there's a gap in the market for these high network people that really want to build more. They want to earn more. They want to now it's not just about survival. It's about self-actualization.
Yes.
Because as you grow, you go from the Maslow hierarchy of needs. You go from physiological needs, water, food, all of that. You go then to love and safety, to go to, and then the peak of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs is self-actualization, where you now begin to say, what is my purpose? What am I really, what impacts can I have on the world?
Yeah.
So these people are the people that are getting to that level. They've already had the status. They've had everything. They've had the reputation. They've been 20 years in business. But now it's like, okay, after all of this, what next? How do I now create impact and influence? These are the people that is for the business of they have brilliance. And that brilliance is not just intellectual brilliance. It's a culmination of their expertise, their credentials, their experiences, their reputation, their journey, their everything, their background. It's a culmination of all of those things. So the AI tool will put all of those things together and say, this is what you should be known for.
Yeah.
Or this is what your personal brand should be. And this is what will be your profitable brilliance. Let's build on that. And then the transformation is that at the end of the mentorship, they will have signature offers. 1 or 2 signature offers that they will now create to the world and say, okay, now I have a website. You people come to me because I can help you to do this.
Yes.
And that is where the sense of fulfillment will now come. Now they're not just working for survival. They are now impacting people, because now you are helping people to maximize their own potential too. People that have problems, you're now solving it for them. And when you solve problems for people and you get paid, it gives you the sense of, yes, I'm now living in my purpose. That's what the business of your brilliance is. So I'm helping high network, high people, executive clients, academics, that not early career, like mid-career to now sit down and say, okay, it could also be somebody that is research oriented.
Yeah.
Maybe your research has been this and you'd really been doing all of this for the university, but now you want to own your own thing. Do you understand? You want to own your own intellectual property that will now create a legacy for you and for your children, not for the university.
Yes.
Remember that while you are building this, you are building something that will sustain you for life.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And social media makes it so accessible that you have access to the marketplace. So you don't need to even do a lot of adverts. All you need to do is to create thought leadership, create your website, create your offers. I will help you with adverts and all of those things, Facebook ads and all of that. People come into your ecosystem. You begin to solve their problems for them, and they pay you top dollar.
Yeah.
And these people will still be thanking you for solving their problem for them. So as a researcher, maybe you've always had this mind that you want to create a product out of all your years of research.
Yeah.
And now it's outside of the university intellectual property. This is now your own property.
Yeah.
You want to create a product. Yes, you can create a product. Will help you, connect you with people that could be manufacturers. You could manufacture from China.
Yes.
It's a global world now.
Yes.
You can manufacture in China. You can manufacture in Vietnam. You can manufacture anywhere in the world. And this thing will have your intellectual property sustained to your name. Anybody that uses it, that has anything to do with it, they pay you up dollar. Now you can be a consultant as a researcher or as a professor or somebody. You have so much intellectual brilliance, discourse, that now you can now begin to say, okay, I can consult for this company, especially for corporate organizations, institutions. So now there are let me just quickly say, there are 3 types of clients you can have. You can have individual clients. So one-on-one is still the smallest of the money.
Yeah.
Like I can have a one-on-one mentorship with you. I can just say, okay, you pay me $5,000 for maybe 1 year mentorship.
Yes.
It's fine. That's the least. Then you can now have member associations. You can sell to associations. So for example, maybe you belong to ACS, American Chemical Society. You can just pitch to them and say, I have this offer please, anybody in this member or the many members that need help with this, I can offer you this thing. Go to my website, and they can come in groups. Maybe groups of 5, groups of 10, they buy your offer, maybe $10,000, $5,000, they do it, they go. The cream of it is when you now sell to corporate organizations, universities. Imagine you have an offer for the University of the Western Cape and say, I want to come and train your professors or your academic staff on something, and it has been a problem for the university. And they say, oh, okay, you have an organization. Yes, I have a company. I've already registered my company. I've already done this. I'm sending this proposal to you. Think about it. And they come to you and they say, okay, we really need this, but can you twerk it? Can you twerk it? So now you're doing a customized service for an organization. So, and you can charge them $25,000. You can charge them $50,000. If it's in rand, they can't pay that. They can pay 5 million rand.
Yeah.
But this time, you are the initiator of that. Then you can now employ other people, other PhDs, or people that you feel that can help you with that project. Employ them, pay them. And you do that work. You go to another university. They will give you a referral and give a referral to another VC.
Yeah.
That, Fanelwa can do this, so she can train all your people on this thing. It might even be a machine. You want to train people on a machine. All these white people that are taking our jobs, that are doing all of those things, these are the things they are doing to make money.
Yeah.
They're just selling, they're just doing their expertise. So if we are Black women, that we have all this knowledge is powerful. Knowledge is powerful. You just have to know how to frame it, and God will give you that idea and be open to the marketplace. What are the problems that are existing?
Yes.
If you have that problem, write proposals and pitch. By the time you do 2 or 3 in a year, you're already a millionaire. So that's what brought about the business of your brilliance. We're still building it, but we've been able to have traction. We already have traction, and I'm going to come to South Africa next year by the grace of God, having a mastermind, opening up women's mind.
Yes.
We're going to have a hall of 50 women. My goal is to have 50. If we have 100, fine. But just 50 is fine for me. People that are in academia, that are in corporate, begin to open their eyes to see that you cannot just be at the mercy of an employer. For life. No. No. You can work for an employer, but also build your own alongside. And then when you're tired, at 50, you're supposed to have your own thing that you have control over.
Kind of
that you can even give
early career, like early retirement, but a busy retirement. A busy retirement.
And even though I don't like that word retirement, what is the meaning of retirement? You're not supposed to retire. You're supposed to work, do the work that you enjoy.
The institution.
Because you notice that people that retire, by the time they retire, they don't have anything to do again. They start getting sick.
Yes.
So if you have built something from the age of 50, my goal is from 45. If you're 45 and above, yes, that's a good time. But now you have the resources to put into your business. You have the time because your kids are a little bit older. You have the intellectual, experiences and all of that. You have that world of knowledge and expertise. You have a lot of advantage to your side. And of course, you have maturity and wisdom. Considerably, if you have somebody that have built yourself. So at that time, you have to start thinking of legacy. What are you going to do till you're 90? And people are living longer these days. People are living longer these days because of technology, because of IT, because of the food, the medicines we take, and all of people are living longer. There's a lot of interventions to make people live longer. So if you retire at 50 or retire at 60, what are you going to be doing?
You're going to sit and do what? You're going to sit and do
what? So why don't you use your expertise that you have accumulated over 60 years or over 50 years, over 40 years of your career, and create a business around it and sell it to people that need it? Because this thing, they need it. The upcoming generation, they need us. Do you understand? So that's what I'm trying to do with this. And the more we grow, the more impact we have with more people, the more we'll be able to have a community of women that we can say, now it's time to build businesses. Because entrepreneurship is the only way for us to create legacies. It's the only way that we can own our time, our money, our freedom, financial freedom. Is the only way. You can never be rich or wealthy by salary. Never.
Imposter syndrome is a disease. I don't know if
it's a killer.
It's a killer because I don't know what can we tell young people starting up, in academia, because I feel like imposter syndrome is a big thing. What advice can we give them to kind of encourage them to, embark on this kind of journey?
Okay, I would just say that imposter syndrome could be a good thing too, if you balance it. It could be a good thing because imposter syndrome makes you feel like a fraud. It makes you feel like I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
That feeling of not being good enough could also be a way to humble you, because in this walk of work or in this walk of life, you also need to be a little bit humble. You know, confidence, overconfidence too sometimes could be dangerous. So imposter syndrome has good sides. It also had bad sides. So you just have to know how to balance it. However, any upcoming person must realize that they must do the work. There is no shortcut to getting there. No shortcut. Anybody that
Yes.
thinks there is a shortcut is just playing themselves.
Yeah.
You have to do the work. And imposter syndrome goes away the more you do the work, the more you grow. And it doesn't even entirely go away, because I read an article about all these presidents. Sometimes they will hold a pin in their hands because they're shaking when they want to do a public speaking. Sometimes it doesn't really go away, but then you know how to manage it.
Yeah.
And I think it's also put there, imposter syndrome also is also put there by nature just to keep us a little bit in check, just a little bit in check. But you have to have the power over it. And so personal growth is one of the ways by which you can overcome it, or you can control it, or you can manage it. Let me put it that way. Personal growth. So you must be committed, extremely committed to your personal growth. Never, and I'm saying this again, never compromise your personal growth at the expense of your family, your children, your husband, or anything else in this world. Never. Never. Because all those things can leave your children will leave you. By the time they grow up, they will leave you. They will say, "Mommy, I'm going," and bye-bye.
That's it.
These days I have to bribe my kids, like, "Oh yeah, come now, I'll give you this. Oh yeah, come and see." Yeah. They're gone. They'll be like, "Mommy, I love you. Okay, I'll come and see you. Mommy, I love you." But they're gone.
Yeah, they're alive.
So when they're gone, what will happen to you? So don't compromise your past. Imagine I didn't grow. Imagine I didn't build this. Imagine. And that's why you see a lot of women in their middle age, old age, they are bitter. They are bitter with life. They are so bitter because they're full of regrets. They didn't build themselves. I'm begging you, as an early career academic or professional, please be selfish about your personal growth. Read books, go for mentorships, go for coaching, go for trainings, any training that will build you, that will grow you, that will make you better, that will transform you. Be committed to it.
Yeah.
If your husband says, "I don't want you to go, I don't want you to do whatever you can to make him happy for you to go.
Yeah.
Don't compromise your growth at anything, please, because this is what will sustain you in your days, in your later days. Your growth cannot be manufactured. It cannot be synthesized in the lab. It's not something that you can quickly say, "I want to speed track it." No, it has to follow due process.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So you start small by small, precepts by precepts, line by lines. If you don't know how to do public speaking, begin to learn small. If you don't know how to talk in meetings, just one meeting in a month is fine. Or one meeting in 3 months. Start from somewhere. If you don't know how to do it and you're so crippled, ask for help. Women too, we don't know how to ask for help. Ask for help, please. Ask for help. Help could come in form of somebody, a senior person teaching you what to do. Help could come for you going to training. You could come from reading a book. We have to be committed to reading books. Reading, because the more you know, the more you can earn, honestly. When I'm talking, sometimes when I'm making presentations, I'm talking to my clients, they just wonder, how do I have all of this? It's because I read a lot. I don't watch TV. I don't spend my time doing frivolous things. I'm committed to my growth. Anything that will not grow me, I don't engage in it. I don't have time for it.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So you must be committed to your personal and professional growth. Anything you need to do, go on ChatGPT, ask ChatGPT, I am an expert in this. How do I grow, or how do I plan, or give me a strategic plan to, or maybe for a 10-year strategic plan to personally grow in my field of da 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 da. It will tell you what to do.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
understand? So those are the things you need to do. And don't compromise it on even your children when they're saying, Mommy, don't go, Mommy, don't do this. No, 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 no. You children go to school, ask for help, pay for help if you need to pay for help. And that's why we need to earn more as women so that we can also ask people. You can delegate. A lot of women find it guilty. They find it very guilty, or they find it very uncomfortable delegating household responsibilities to people they can. That is nonsense.
Oh,
Why are you feeling guilty?
why
Men
are you
don't
feeling
feel
guilty?
guilty.
Why are you feeling guilty?
You can never be. You can never get everything 100%. You can never be a total career woman and have balance. It's not possible. Different aspects of your life will have balances at each particular time of their life, and everybody will be fine. Because when you are fine, your children will be fine.
Exactly.
My kids will tell me, Mommy, I couldn't have been here if not for you.
Yes.
But there's sometimes I wasn't there for them because maybe some months I would just say, go to my brother. I need to do this. I need to do that. But ultimately now, everybody's okay.
You see? And they, they're reflecting back and they can see the sacrifices. They can see that it was worth it.
The sacrifices you make for them, the more sacrifice they will want to make for themselves too. They will say, if my mommy could do this, I can do that.
What's stopping me?
I'm not going to settle for a lesser life than my mother did.
Yes.
And then you're creating a generational line of achievers. Do you understand? Because if they say you fail, they will also have a tendency to fail. But they see you win, they also have a more tendency to win. And this world is becoming so, the speed at which the world is going. If you can't meet your children halfway, like you can't provide for them the basic things, oh my God, they're going to be so unhappy. Like your children are going to school with people that have iPads, they have this, they have that, and you can't even provide them a laptop. You can't provide them with this. You don't have to provide them with good clothes. You feel so terrible.
It's to them, this generation.
You feel so terrible.
And
the only way you can provide them with that is for you to also grow. When you grow, you can also earn more when you grow.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So a lot of South African women should please. I know the history comes with a lot of disadvantages.
Yeah.
But you can grow out of it. I have a lot of students that I still mentor, that they kind of still check up on them, and I'm so proud of them.
Yeah.
Proud of them. But they had to intentionally, and also the God factor also comes in, because sometimes we can't do it on our own strength.
Yes.
Sometimes we because we are weak a little bit in terms of wanting to let other people want to take care of other people over us. So that God factor is necessary for you to have that strength to say, I can do this, I can do this. So the God factor is also very important. Yeah.
Oh, my friend, I'm enjoying this so much. So where can people find Dr. Omotola? Please tell the people. Tell the people where to find you. Where can the people find you?
Guys, you can find me on social media. You can find me on LinkedIn. My name on LinkedIn is Omotola Onaneye-Babajide. It's a compound name. You can find me on LinkedIn, Dr. Omotola Onaneye-Babajide. You can find me on Instagram, Dr._Omotola. You can find me on Facebook, Omotola. Those my names are across board. You can find me on X. You can find me on Threads. I'm also very active on Threads. Threads is the other one of Instagram. And the way I like Threads is that it cross posts. So if you post on Instagram and you put on the button, it will cross post to Threads. And then you can also cross post to Facebook from Instagram. You know that?
Yes.
Do you know that?
I just recently learned that. Actually,
yes, you can cross post, but I just don't like to cross post from Instagram to Facebook because I want to curate Facebook posts differently and all of that. So you can find me on all social media. I just Google my name, Omotola Onaneye-Babajide. I have a website. I have a personal website, dromotola.com. You can find me there. Just Google me anywhere. You can find me there. And I'm also very active on WhatsApp. I have a South African WhatsApp. I have an American WhatsApp.
Yeah.
So just DM me. But the major one is DM me on Instagram, Dr._Omotola. I'll be fully yours. And anything you need me to help you with, mentorship, clarity, guidance, whatever, just check me out and connect with me.
Dr. Omotola, thank you so much.
Oh my word, I love this. This was so good.
I enjoyed this so much, and we need to do another one because I have a feeling that when people listen to this, they're going to want more. Something is telling me that people are going to want more. I really appreciate you so much as a person. I appreciate you for your selflessness. You know, you've been very selfless with your knowledge. For
Yes,
me, it's
yes,
just the
yes.
knowledge and the encouragement of females way before we even left for the US. I really appreciate your role in my life. When I sit and I think of the direction in which I think my life is going now, I see you being
It's
part of,
beautiful. I love it. It's beautiful.
you
It's
know.
beautiful.
That's all I have for you today. Remember to follow us on social media at the Sociable Chemist Podcast. Don't forget to click the subscribe button and turn on your notification button. My name is Professor Fanelwange Jai, and I'll see you on the next episode.